Stay safe, reduce your contacts. Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1.
Good afternoon, I'm Sinead Ahern. Today's top stories. The European Medicines Agency is expected to reaffirm the safety of the AstraZeneca vaccine this afternoon. A consultant at University Hospital Waterford says COVID is a serious disease and it hasn't gone away. While in sport, Waterford trainer Henry de Bromhead will be hoping to continue his success at Cheltenham with the action underway shortly. The HSE says it should be able to resume issuing the AstraZeneca vaccine within a number of days should the EMA reaffirm its safety this afternoon. Ireland is one of 11 EU countries that chose to stop administering the vaccine after a small number of people who'd been vaccinated developed a blood clot. Casey O'Riordan reports.
Thousands of vaccination appointments were cancelled this week, while 49,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine sits in cold storage. The HSE paused the administration of AstraZeneca as a precaution, though the European Medicines Agency did not say it was a necessary measure. Paul Moyna, Professor of Immunology at Maynooth University, doesn't think it was the right call.
Cautionary principle, better safe than sorry, is trying to reduce harm, reduce risk. But in this case, we know, for example, by taking this decision, we're introducing an additional risk.
Junior Minister for European Affairs Thomas Byrne says it's not possible to immediately resume issuing the AstraZeneca vaccine.
We're ready to go, but clearly, like, there were arrangements made, for example, for people to get vaccinated, say, for example, tomorrow. That's not going to be able to be rearranged, particularly some medically vulnerable people in a day.
In a statement, the HSE says if it's advised to resume administering AstraZeneca today, it would expect to be able to do so within a few days.
A former clinical director at University Hospital Waterford has warned against COVID complacency. There were 22 patients with COVID in University Hospital Waterford last night. 3 of those patients were in intensive care. Consultant pathologist Rob Landers spoke to Damien Tiernan on Data Today.
And there is a danger, particularly when the vaccination programme is slowing and not hitting the targets and not rolling out as fast as we wanted to. There is very much a danger of a fourth wave coming. So we've got to, as a country, vaccinate the vulnerable as quickly as we can and then ask everybody else to behave. Everybody is part of it at this stage. But unless we kind of play by the rules, there's every risk of a fourth wave.
The deer population in West Waterford has grown exponentially in recent times. That's according to Councillor Pat Nugent, who's calling for a severe cull of deer in the area. According to the Department of Agriculture, scientific research has shown TB is circulating among cattle, deer and badgers. At the moment, cattle and badgers are vaccinated. There's none available for deer. Councillor Nugent is calling for a cull to tackle the issue.
I think there should be a severe cull at the moment. Now, it is up to the department to tell us what is happening. I think the numbers that are out there now is quadrupling every time that we, 1 year after the other. Like, when there's not a vaccine for them, like, it's not possible or feasible. It is different. There is a pilot scheme for badgers, but the situation with the deer, like the miles that they travel, I mean, they're going to places that they never went before, and they're going down as far as sea level, which is just amazing. Like, I mean, you'd never hear of that.
The cost of land nationally has risen to its highest point since 2008. A study from the Irish Farmers Journal shows the highest prices were in Donegal, Kildare and Waterford. It's believed the increase may be linked to working from home and more people wanting to move out of cities. Paul Mooney from the paper says there's expected to be growth this year again.
Demand for farmland is going to be strong, for example, and that demand for farmland with a residence on it is going to be strong. But it's very early days, it's only March. And, you know, the big joker in the pack, COVID-19, is still very much at play, so it's too early. But all other things being equal, we certainly would expect that there will be strong demand.
There are calls for the Thomas Francis Marr Bridge to be lit green all year round. Many Data landmarks have been lit up this week to celebrate St Patrick's Day. Councillor Eddie Mulligan of Fianna Fáil thinks the new bridge should stay green.
I compliment the council in every event on turning it green there. Over many years I've been asking for it to go green, similar to the Mary McAleese Bridge in Drogheda, which is blue all year round. And I'd like to put it to councillors anyway that we could look to have the Thomas Francis Marr Bridge retained green all year round.
US President Joe Biden received a traditional shamrock bowl made by Waterford's Crystal Narina in an historic virtual presentation at the White House yesterday. The beautiful crystal bowl was made in Onrine by master cutter Eamon Terry. It's the second time the company was selected by the government to custom make the piece for the traditional ceremony. Eamon says being chosen is fantastic for business.
It's a great honour to be asked to make the bowl. But it does have an effect then of creating business and raising awareness, and it just brings the name up to the fore in people's minds when they're looking for presents or presentations or sports trophies, because I do all that, and the amount of sports trophies and commissions that I made after making the last bowl, I was busy, very busy.
A government minister says the use of words like chairman, spokesman and fireman could be creating an unconscious bias. Josepha Madigan has suggested changing gendered titles, including the Kerryman newspaper. The Minister of State for Inclusion says it's about creating equality in every part of society.
I think it's possible that they can create an unconscious bias, and I simply want us to become aware and more aware of the terms and phrases that we use on a daily basis that permeate everyday conversation. I want to ensure that young girls, when they're growing up, that they, don't rule themselves out of certain positions just because they see a taxman or a weatherman or a fireman.
Siobhan Murphy, General Manager of Kerryman, says they won't be changing the paper's title.
We have moved with the times. We have adapted and we have adjusted, to the present day. So changing our brand and changing our name would totally jeopardise our paper rather than doing anything for us.
And Waterford singer-songwriter Gilbert O'Sullivan has promised he'll return to play a concert in his hometown again. The 74-year-old hasn't played in Waterford in decades. Gilbert made the exciting announcement while talking to WLR's Jeff Harris on the Lunchbox.
We are going to do it, Jeff. I've put it off, I know, but it is going to happen because it is important to me to do that, and I know that the demand is there from people to see me, which is nice. I assume, not necessarily with although, I'm getting a younger audience, the
I was going to ask you that.
Cork dates. We did 2 shows in Cork and the plan is 2 more shows in Dublin. The amount of people coming are not just our generation, but there's a younger generation who are interested in my song.
Make the smart play with Virgin Media. Check out their smart home packages at Virgin Media George's Street, Waterford.
Sponsors of the sports news on WLR.
A very good afternoon from the Sports Desk. I'm Nigel Kelly. We're going to start with racing, where the penultimate day of the Gentleman Festival gets underway shortly. It's been a week to remember so far for the Irish interests. Waterford trainer Henry de Bromhead has been rewarded with wins from Honeysuckle, Put the Kettle On and Bob Ollinger. Today, the Knockeen handler will be hoping for more success in the opening race, the Marsh Novices Chase, when he saddles Envoy Len for the first time. Speaking on Daysha today, de Bromhead says that he hopes that the ground will suit him, but with a new horse in the yard, it's hard to predict his performance.
We've only had him a couple of weeks, but he has 4 informal better ground as well. So he's such a good moving horse. I hope it will. Apparently Davy Russell said recently that he thought it would. Yeah, he seems good and we're happy.
Moving to soccer, where the new Waterford FC midfielder Jamie Maskell says he can't wait to get stuck into the League of Ireland. Maskell arrives at the RFC from League 2 club Bolton Wanderers, which was Darren Murphy's last club in English football. The Blues kick off their Premier Division campaign tomorrow evening with a trip to Drogheda United, and Maskell says the squad is coming together nicely.
Yeah, it is a new squad. However, I do believe that we're gelling together quite well. I've only been here for maybe just over a week or so, and I can already see the improvements from the first game to training and to today. So yeah, I do believe we're gelling well for a new squad.
And the action at Head in the Game Park is underway at 5:45 tomorrow, and we'll have it live here on WLR thanks to McConnell's Toyota Waterford with the commentary team of Ray Scott and Matt Keane. Elsewhere in soccer, the Republic of Ireland boss Stephen Kenny has named a 29-man squad for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Serbia and Luxembourg. Capuquin's Jason Malumbi retains his place in the midfield, and a first call-up is given to Gavin Bazunu, while the striker Aaron Connolly is included but will also be assessed by the medical team on his injury. Now moving to Gaelic games, where the Waterford County Board have written to Croke Park requesting that the loss of wages injury fund be restored. Croke Park paused cover for loss of wages last December, an item which Waterford, Offaly and Cork County Boards have all raised with Central Council in the time being. The GAA have said that the money is not presently available to cover the fund due to the gate receipts being so low for last year. And the Waterford Central Council delegate Brendan Tobin has asked that the injury fund be restored to cover loss of work earnings for players.
All the players that go out playing, they need to be covered. We are requesting that be revisited. I brought it up at the December meeting of the Central Council. It didn't get a great hearing. We're hoping to get it back on the floor for the Central Council meeting next Saturday. The loss of wages for the 2021 be on the floor for Saturday, and know that we can have an open debate and see can we get a compromise on the situation.
Now moving to rugby, where Munster have named their team to face Benetton tomorrow. The Waterford pair of Jack O'Donoghue and Thomas Ahern will start for Johan Van Grand's side, with O'Donoghue captaining the side. There will be a senior debut for Gary Owens, Keane Hurley, with Diarmuid Barron, Jake Flannery and Paddy Patterson all making their first Munster starts, while the Ireland head coach Andy Farrell will name his starting 15 at 3 o'clock for Saturday's Six Nations match against England in Dublin. Peter O'Mahony, Bundy Akey and Jacob Stockdale, who has not been named in the Ulster 23 for the weekend, may all get the nod to start. And the England team has been named. Elliot Daly comes in at centre, replacing Henry Slade, in the only change from last weekend's win over France. While in the Olympics news, and Tokyo 2020's creative director has resigned after suggesting a female Japanese comedian could appear as an Olympic at the opening ceremony. Hiroshi Sasaki made the comment about plus-size star Naomi Watanabe at a meeting last year and later apologised. Last month, organising committee president Yoshiro Mori quit after saying women talk too much in meetings, and the rescheduled Olympics are due to take place this summer. And finally, a medical tribunal's ruled that former British cycling and Team Sky chief Dr. Richard Freeman's fitness to practice has been impaired because of his misconduct. He was found guilty last week of ordering banned testosterone in 2011, knowing it would be given to dope an unnamed rider. While Dr. Freeman admitted 18 of the 22 charges against him at a hearing, it still has to be decided what actions, if any, will be imposed on him. Sports news on WLR is thanks to Virgin Media, Waterford.